Justin Simmons has led the Broncos in interceptions 4 consecutive seasons. Will it be a 5th, or does Pat Surtain II have a chance to dethrone him? That's what we're talking about on this edition of Countdown to Camp. Welcome into the studio. I'm Phil Milani alongside Jones and Aric DiLalla. This defense, this secondary is loaded with a lot of talent. Justin Simmons, back-to-back years with 5 interceptions. Sidney Jones, will he lead the team again this year?
I do think Justin will lead the team in interceptions again. There's no doubt in my mind it would either be between Justin Simmons or Pat Surtain, but I feel like based on how Pat played last season, I think quarterbacks are going to be less likely to throw it in his direction. So I think Justin's going to go into that, that ball hawk mode again, and I think he's going to come out on top. But, last season Justin did only have 5 interceptions. Pat had 4. I do think both of them will get more this season.
The last several years here for Justin Simmons, we could take a look at his numbers. 5 interceptions the last 2 years. Before that, 4. Before that, 3. So maybe we'll see him get into that 6 or 7 this year, really take a jump. I don't know. That would be a lot in the first year here of Jones and Aric's defense. Aric, how about you? Do you think that it'll be Simmons or Surtain?
I'm going to go with DJ Jones.
Oh, yeah, some tip balls, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I agree with Sidney. I think it's going to be Justin Simmons, and that's nothing against Pat Surtain, who I think might be the best player on this Broncos defense. I think you're going to look at Pat Surtain at the end of the year and say, this guy's a Pro Bowler, he's a potential All-Pro, but they're just not going to throw at him. He's too dangerous. He's too good when the ball's in his area. I think Justin's just going to have more chances. And you think of the ways that Justin Simmons can get interceptions. If it's tipped at the line of scrimmage, if a linebacker, blows up a running back and the ball hangs up in the air, if it's overthrown, if Justin Simmons can undercut it, there's just so many ways that he's able to come up with interceptions, whereas Pat Surtain's probably more dependent on the quarterback throwing in his direction. So I think Justin Simmons, again, ends up as your leading interceptor.
Interceptor, nice. Good word there.
Yeah.
Okay, if you look around the AFC West, there's a lot of talent at the wide receiver position. Davante Adams in Las Vegas, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams out there with the Chargers. We know that the Chiefs are loaded. Aric, do you think that provides a good opportunity for Surtain to shadow some of these guys? Because it's not like Derek Carr is going to shy away from throwing to Adams.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give Pat Surtain chances to intercept passes to make the biggest impact on a game, I'd certainly consider shadowing him on the best receiver. I don't know if it's something you do every week, right? It depends on the matchup. It depends what the opposing quarterback likes to do. But, whether it's DK Metcalf in Seattle, if it's Deebo Samuel, I think there are times when you want to say, we're going to put our best guy on your best guy, and they're just going to face off head-to-head. Pat said that he's up to the challenge. Jones and Aric said that there are certainly times where he'd consider doing that. They're not going to give anything away, and I really do think it could vary week to week. But how much fun would that be to watch a DK Metcalf go up against Pat Surtain, or to watch Davante Adams and Pat Surtain do battle? I mean, that's what it's all about. You want the best on the best.
Yeah, I guess there's 2 ways to approach it. Just best on best, or this guy's just shutting down this side of the field. We've seen Richard Sherman do that for many, many years there in Seattle. Okay, what about the rest of the secondary, Sidney, though? There's a lot of talent. We see Ron Darby. The Broncos bring over the Shark from the 49ers. Jones and Aric says that this defense has measured up to where he thought that it was going to be. What do you think? You think Surtain might be the top guy there, though?
I do. I liked what Aric said. I liked his take that, Pat Surtain might be the best guy on defense, and I think we'll see this year. It was so interesting to see last year just all of the guys talk about how good Pat was in his rookie season. I mean, you got Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson, 2 guys have been in the league for so long, just praise Pat Surtain and praise his mindset, how well he understands the game, his movements, the little nuances he does. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he makes this jump this next year. I think we're going to see, the Pat we saw last year and how great he was, but just him dialing in a little bit more on some of the specifics of his position. So I think it'll be really fun to watch him.
He is technically sound, and when the mental side of the game catches up to the technique, he's going to shut things down. So we'll see if it's Justin Simmons or Pat Surtain. Guys, just a couple more of these countdowns to get to here before the start of Broncos training camp. Can't wait for that. Until then, for Aric DiLalla and Sidney Jones, I'm Phil Milani.